think you got all this on lock. It's not the future. It's a monument to the dead. You're not saving the world. You're just getting it ready for me.
What is going on, buddy? Welcome back to All Things Film. Today I'm here to talk about this new little trailer we got for The Walking Dead Season 9. Finally some new footage. In this trailer we got some really cool dialogue from Negan, some pretty cool shots, and I want to talk all about this in this video today. Before I do begin though, if you are a fan of, The Walking Dead, be sure to hit the subscribe button for daily Walking Dead videos. Also, general spoiler warning in case you're not caught up with The Walking Dead, but other than that, let's get started. So I really did like this little teaser we got because it was really well put together. I thought the music was great. It's only 30 seconds though. It's from IGN, but I really did like it. And it's we got a bunch of new footage, but it's Negan saying the lines where he was like, "You think you got all this on lock?" And then he also says towards the end, he was like, "You think you're saving the world? You're getting it ready for me." So Negan is still very cocky. But let's start off in the beginning and look at shot by shot from this little teaser. So this is the first shot of the teaser. We got a new Alexandria sign. It's a really cool sign. It makes sense why they would put a new sign up, because it's a new beginning. But also I saw images of this a while back because fans used to take pictures of it because it's outside of the gates in Sonoy. Anybody can see it if you walk by. So I used to saw a picture of it a while back ago, when they first started filming in May. But this is the first clear shot of it, and this is a really cool sign, so I do like it. Really nice actually. But this is the next shot. We got the Commonwealth, a little bit of an Easter egg. We saw this in the main trailer we got back in Comic-Con. Nothing too crazy, just a little Easter egg to the Commonwealth. But this is some new footage right here because we got Rick, Michonne, and Judith, and they're in Alexandria, and it looks like they're rebuilding. And Alexandria looks super nice, and it makes sense, because it got destroyed back in season 8. So I'm sure they're gonna rebuild, and it's already looking super nice. The hilltop, we've seen images of the hilltop and Alexandria, and both are looking pretty nice so far. But I also want to talk about these three for a minute because it looks like this season is gonna be really focusing on family and friendship, especially family, because we got those couple images of Rick, Michonne, and Judith, all together in that grass field. So, especially since it is Rick's last season, I'm sure he's gonna be really close to Judith, because once he dies or whatever happens to Rick, when he leaves, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna really suck. But especially if they're gonna really building up the theme of friendship and family, us seeing all these scenes with him and Judith, it's gonna be heartbreaking, especially since we know what's gonna happen. Oh, we don't know if he's gonna die or live, but we know he's gonna leave. So seeing these scenes with him and Judith, it's gonna be hard. But hopefully they do Rick well, and hopefully he goes out in a pretty good way. But that being said, I think this is hard to tell who exactly this is. I'm pretty sure it's Maggie, and I can't tell who this other person is, but this is, I can't wait to see them on horses and carriages and stuff. They've really been teasing this throughout the, off season, because, they said, they even had an interview, and Angela King, I think it was, she said that, cars are going to be, not used as much, and they're going to start using horses and carriages. So that makes sense, especially in a zombie apocalypse. So I can't wait to see that, and, it's going to feel like some old school Walking Dead too. And then the next thing we see here is this bridge that they're building, and we see Daryl and Aaron, I believe, and it looks like, and they said Daryl is going to be starting off at the sanctuary, so I'm sure Daryl and Aaron and some other people are going to be at the sanctuary, dealing with the saviors, because I'm sure they can't trust them 100%. But we got Regina here walking through the crops, and a lot of people thought Regina died. I mean, I honestly thought she died too, but I guess not. It looks like she's going to have some sort of role in season 9, but we don't know if it's going to be a big or small role. But now we know that she did survive 100%. And then we see Eugene and Rosita here, and Eugene is cooking up something, and this whole trailer has like a new beginning vibe to it, and that's obviously what it is. But it's interesting because it shows everybody working together and having a good time, and rebuilding. And then it has Negan's demonic dark voice over it, taunting Rick, saying that you think you're saving the world. No, you're just getting it ready for me. So I'm sure Negan is gonna get inside of Rick's head a lot this season. Whether if Negan is gonna be outside of the cell when Rick departs, we don't know that for sure. But Negan is gonna have a pretty big role in season 9, especially the second half when he does escape. I'm sure he's gonna escape by the second half, but they've been really teasing that Negan is gonna have an interesting arc this season. So I am interested in seeing what that is. Ah man, this one's gonna sting, guys. You guys remember this Carl's death episode? He was doing this with Judith. the hand painting, and then now we see Rick doing it. Carl died. Possibility of Rick dying, little teases here and there. So The Walking Dead knows how to get us in our feels, but this is pretty cool, the little symbolism with the painting, callback to Carl, and I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of callbacks to Carl, because I'm sure Rick is never going to really get over it. But moving on, we see a better shot of Daryl and Rick, riding the motorcycle, and I love this. I love when those two are like, connected and doing stuff together, but it really sucks though that, they're going to be arguing a lot this season, and maybe even fighting, because we saw the image of them in the trailer, or the footage in the trailer where they were, dropped the bike and they kind of like went face to face. So I'm sure, I wouldn't be surprised if we have more fighting, but this is a really cool shot of the two of them on the motorcycle, and I think it's going to be a pretty awesome scene too, because Norman Reedus did mention that, Rick and Daryl are going to have a really epic scene this season. I think he said like episode 14, so I can't wait for that. And then next we see Carol here, and she's holding back this savior. Now this savior, and then also I believe Zach McGowan's character, his savior, those two saviors are going to cause a lot of problems for the group. And I think because, obviously a lot of the saviors don't agree with Rick, and they still want, they still agree with Negan, so I'm sure they are going to cause a lot of problems. And then we see here Carol like grabs onto her gun, and I believe this is the scene from the trailer where she's like, I just wanted to pull the trigger. So it looks like she's going to be talking to Rick here, saying that I just wanted to pull the trigger. So I'm sure, a lot of these saviors are going to drive a lot of the group like over the edge, and like, some of them are going to have a tough time dealing with these saviors who aren't being cooperative. And even though Rick is pushing this agenda saying that everybody needs to work together, a lot of the survivors are going to have a tough time with that, because the saviors are going to get under everybody's skin, just like Negan is getting underneath Rick's skin, even though he's underneath the or he's inside of the prison. He's messing around with Rick, and the saviors are still very cocky. So we're going to see where it goes from here, but I feel like all this savior drama is going to ultimately lead to Rick's death, and then that's when everybody's going to be like, shit, this guy is trying to make everybody work together, and he just died. You know what? Let's just all be peaceful and work together. I feel like that's something that's gonna happen, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But let's move on and talk about this next scene in the trailer. So next in this little teaser, we have the key to a future book, and the book that Georgia gave Maggie back in season 8. And this is pretty cool because you see all the blueprints, and that's obviously all the stuff they've been working on while they're rebuilding. But it's very interesting because Rick grabs the book and he kind of tosses it, and he looks upset. So I'm not sure if he's upset about Maggie because she's doing her own thing and not cooperating, or maybe Rick doesn't trust these people, because Rick, I'm sure, still doesn't trust a lot of people. So I wouldn't be surprised if Maggie is telling Rick about this woman, and then he's kind of upset that why is this person being so nice, and maybe he doesn't like trust her or something. Maybe he even met her. Maybe she comes back around in the first half, and then Rick isn't not trusting her. But Rick looks really upset here, and maybe it could be a number of different things too, adding up on top of everything, because I'm sure Rick is gonna be having a frustrating half season, because even though Rick Rick has Judith and Michonne, who's always gonna be there for him and supporting him and loving him, I'm sure a lot of the other people might not agree with Rick, and the saviors are gonna give him shit. So Rick is gonna be pretty frustrated during this half season before he does leave. But I just find this pretty interesting how he kind of tossed the book. But I can't wait to see more about what's going on here, because like I said, in my previous videos, I feel like since we know Lauren Cohen said Maggie's gonna have an open-ended story, I do feel like there's a huge possibility of Georgie being connected with her, her departure in The Walking Dead. But we're gonna have to wait and see what exactly goes on with there. And the teaser ends with this close-up of Negan finishing off what he was saying to Rick when he was saying, you're not saving the world, you're getting it ready for me. So, like I said, I'm very excited for Negan's story this season too, because they're really, a lot of interviews have been saying that fans are gonna, like Negan's story, and Norman Reedus said fans are gonna like Negan at the end of the season, and I'm excited for it. And I really hope Negan does get some scenes with Rick and Maggie specifically, since those two are the ones that are leaving. But this whole teaser was really well put together, and the instrumental beat in the background was really cool too, and really nice. And this final little shot saying The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes' final episodes, and we hear the beat in the background, and then we have this walker here scratching the ground. Like, this is like they're really like making it seem like horror again, like a horror TV show. Like before it was like you know, at least the last couple seasons were like an all-out war, and now they're kind of making it seem more like an actual horror movie, and the trailers are really well put together, and I'm excited for it. And I think season 9 is very promising. You know, it really sucks that we're losing Rick, but still with the whispers and, you know, all the new information, all the new cast members, I have very high hopes for season 9, and I can't wait for it. But I'm gonna leave it off there. In the comments down below, you be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions on this little teaser and on all the new footage we got and what you think is gonna happen in season 9. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you guys did enjoy. And for daily Walking Dead videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button. It's been All Things Film, and until next time, peace.